should Buddhist corporations or organizations be allowed not to pay taxes for food assistance that buys meat because they're vegetarian? Should Zoroastrian corporations who see the sacred reflected in fire be allowed not to contribute to their local firefighters? I mean, where does this end? I mean, isn't that also a dimension of the absurdity? In my opinion, that's my word, the absurdity of this case.
And that is the danger. Hobby Lobby is asking for, the way they put it in their brief, is whenever anyone has a religious objection to any law, that the government's only allowed to overcome that objection if they can survive the highest constitutional test known to constitutional law. They're asking for tremendous amounts of protection for religious liberty. And if you look at what the actual cases in the past have been, of course, you just had this big fight out in Arizona where people wanted to enshrine anti-gay discrimination into the law and say that if you object to serving gay people on religious grounds, you can do that. There are cases where employers said they want to pay women less than men because they thought that the man should be the head of the household, and that's God's plan. There are cases where people wanted to engage in race discrimination, and they claimed religious justification, people who didn't want to pay Social Security taxes, people who didn't want to pay the minimum wage. And if you
well, look, let's be clear. A major religion in this country until relatively recently believed that black people were inferior. So, can you discriminate against African Americans on religious grounds if this idea is upheld?
I mean, that's what the Bob Jones case was about in the 1980s. It was a case where you had a Christian college that at one point excluded black people altogether, and towards the end they just said that black people weren't allowed to date white people, and they had all these weird conduct restrictions.
And unfortunately we're going to have to leave it there, but Ian Millhiser, I'm delighted you're on this case, and I hope you'll come back and talk to us about it again.
Great, this has been fun.
You bet. Same here. Thanks again. We've been speaking with Ian Millhiser, whose writing can be found at thinkprogress.org/justice. And we will be staying on this case in our next segment. So please stick with us. I'm Richard Eskow, and this is The Zero Hour.